The European king has embarked on the hunt for the first title of the new season. In that moment, coach Carlo Ancelotti delighted the fans by starting Mbappe. Facing Atalanta, a much lower-rated opponent, Los Blancos had all the motivation and confidence to claim the UEFA Super Cup. It was an explosive match. All the beautiful scenarios imagined before the game almost came true. From the moment the referee blew the whistle, Real Madrid began to exert immense pressure on Atalanta's goal. This was expected, as Los Blancos had a far superior squad. Against such fierce attacks, the Italian side could only close in quickly or commit fouls to defuse the situation. For the first 10 minutes, this scenario kept repeating. Of course, it was accompanied by the roaring sounds from the stands. The fans were ecstatic, not only because of the attacks, but also because of the runs of the new trident, Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo. Not only in attack, but Real Madrid's defense also performed effectively, neutralizing almost every move from the opponent. Real Madrid made a clear difference, but it was Atalanta who had the first shot. In the end, goalkeeper Courtois still managed to control the situation. Seemingly touched in their pride, Los Blancos responded immediately. In the 14th minute, from a speedy dribble by Rodrigo on the right wing, he brought the ball close to the byline and crossed it to Mbappe, who was waiting. If he had been a bit more precise, the French striker could have opened his scoring account at Real. Unfortunately, Atalanta's defender played too tenaciously. Following that were continuous attacks from Los Blancos, but there seemed to be some disconnection between Mbappe and his new teammates. From the 20th minute onwards, the match began to balance out. After an enthusiastic start, Real began to cool down, waiting for the right opportunity. On the other side, Atalanta was also very cautious not to fall into the trap set by Los Blancos. The match flowed smoothly until the 24th minute when a cross from Atalanta hit Mendy and accidentally touched the goalpost. Real almost conceded first. It was a lucky situation, but it was enough for the Italian side to send a warning to the Spanish giants. For the next 5 minutes, Atalanta seemed to control the ball more. On the attack, Mbappe became isolated from his teammates due to the close marking by the opponents. However, this inadvertently created space for the other real players to exploit. Precisely in the 35th minute, Vinicius made a skillful flick for Bellingham to rush in and receive the pass. Unfortunately, in a stretched position, the English midfielder could only make a harmless touch. If he had the imagination of Cristiano Ronaldo, the former Dortmund star, could have performed a bicycle kick to create a masterpiece. The match continued with back-and-forth exchanges, but it wasn't until the 45+1 minute that a truly dangerous situation arose. From an unsuccessful shot by Vinicius, the ball bounced up and found the Brazilian striker's feet again. As if connected by an invisible thread, number 7 made a magical through ball for his teammate Rodrigo to rush in. But unfortunately, number 11's shot hit the crossbar, to the astonishment of his teammates and all the fans in the stands. In the end, the 0-0 score remained until the final minutes of the first half. Overall, Real created a lot of pressure and dangerous situations, but there was still a sense of impatience in their finishing. Moreover, the absence of Toni Kroos seemed to be causing issues in Los Blancos' midfield, as Tchouaméni and Valverde had yet to meet expectations. The first half statistics showed that Atalanta was not at all inferior. They had 46% possession compared to Real Madrid's 54%. While Real had 3 shots, Atalanta had 2 highlights in the first half, with the ball hitting the crossbar and the post. Things didn't go perfectly as the fans had hoped, which made the second half even more anticipated, especially with changes from both sides. The second half began with a familiar pattern. Real's excitement led to the first shot, and as if by fate, Atalanta had the more notable chance. In the 48th minute, Daron made a perfectly timed cross for Pasalic to head. Luckily, Courtois' talent and the crossbar saved Los Blancos from a visible goal. The match then became extremely exciting with back-and-forth attacks from both sides. Clearly, Atalanta was creating a very balanced game, contrary to many initial predictions. From the 50th minute onwards, Atalanta started to take more risks by pushing their formation higher to seek opportunities. which also became a chance for Real to play their favorite lurking football. The speed of the attack was the key factor that helped Los Blancos make a difference. Even a center-back like Rudiger could confidently carry the ball forward to create surprises. From then on, Los Blancos played much more effectively. The goal that followed was just an inevitable result. In the 59th minute, Vinicius made a tricky dribble down the left wing. The Brazilian forward dribbled close to the byline and crossed inside. The task for the new number 8 Valverde was simply to tap the ball into the empty net. Mbappe's contribution in this situation was also significant as the French striker smartly pulled back, drawing the defenders to create space for Valverde. Before the fans could sit down after celebrating the first goal, they almost doubled their joy. Unfortunately, in a situation receiving a through ball from a teammate, Vinicius was outsmarted by goalkeeper Musso in a one-on-one situation. Following that were continuous waves of attacks in front of Atalanta's goal. They simply had to brace themselves against the high spirits of the Real players. And what everyone was waiting for finally came. Just a few minutes after the opening goal, the new cannon, Kylian Mbappe, opened his account. In the 68th minute, Rodrigo won a challenge and quickly passed to Vini, who sped down the field. In the first cross, the ball slipped past Mbappe's boot, but the chance remained. The ball found Jude Bellingham's feet. After a few touches, the English midfielder passed back to Mbappe, who struck a one-touch shot into Musso's net. At this moment, the atmosphere truly exploded. Cheers and chants of Mbappe echoed from all four corners of the stands. The goal also demonstrated Mbappe's superior advantages, positioning and finishing. Conceding 2 quick goals, Atalanta began to push forward in search of an equalizer, but their efforts were continuously thwarted by Real's defense. With their spirits high, the trio of Vini, Mbappe, and Bellingham had some incredibly spontaneous combinations. In the 74th minute, Bellingham made a powerful run through the opposition's players. The ball was then switched to the left wing before Vinicius attempted an outside-of-the-foot flick, which was unsuccessful. Leading by 2 goals as the match neared its end, coach Carlo Ancelotti started considering substitutions to protect his players' legs. This was clearly necessary as they would have to play over 70 matches in the upcoming season. Luka Modric and Brahim Diaz were brought on, and Mbappe was given a rest. It was a lively performance, capped by a goal in the French striker's debut match. In the following minutes, Real began to slow down, conceding possession to the opponent. They retreated to their half, maintaining their formation and always ready to counterattack. On the other side, although Atalanta had more possession, they couldn't create many threatening chances against Courtois' goal. The 2-0 scoreline remained until the final whistle. It was a victory, a hopeful start for Real Madrid and their fans. A perfect match that met all the expectations of the Madridistas. Mbappe started, Mbappe scored. It marked the beginning of a new chapter at the Bernabeu. In the end, everything concluded with the triumphant celebration of the European king.